The year was 2149. Humanity had traveled far into space, past Jupiter, past Pluto, even past the dead zone where signals once vanished. That's when they found Echo-9. That was a perfect planet. Blue oceans, green forests, tall black mountains. Air was clean. Gravity was normal. Temperature was ideal. But something was wrong. Very wrong. Echo-9 made no sound. Not a wind, not a bird, not even static. Even the Earth probes couldn't record any natural sounds. It was as if the planet was holding its breath. Arrival Commander Juno Vega stood at the window of the small ship, Sentinel-7, looking down at the silent world. With her were 4 team members: Dr. Ethan Maris, the mission's science officer Tala Reeve, a calm, sharp-eyed survivalist, Lin Cho, a cheerful but nervous communications expert, and Sergeant Holt, a grizzled old soldier who didn't believe in ghosts, only in guns. The crew prepared to land. As they entered the atmosphere, Lin adjusted the sensors. There's no static. No interference. I'm not hearing anything. Even the engines sound quiet. It's just your nerves, Holt grunted. But Juno's eyes narrowed. No, this is real. We're going into silence. First steps, the ship landed on soft ground, near what looked like a silver forest. But the trees weren't trees. They were tall metal-like pillars, thin, sharp, and cold to the touch. Tala scanned them. They're alive, but not plants, not machines either. Something in between. As they walked, the team noticed something stranger. Their boots made no sound. Even when they spoke, their voices felt muted, as if a soft hand pressed over their mouths. Juno tapped her helmet. Check mic settings. They're fine, said Lin, panic rising. It's not us, it's the planet. Dr. Maris crouched by a pool of water. He dropped a stone. No splash. Nothing. Complete silence. He looked up. This isn't normal physics. Sound is being eaten. The city on day 2. They found buildings. Tall white towers without doors or windows. Perfect condition. Not broken. Not old. Not dusty. It looked like the people inside had vanished a minute ago. Juno led the way inside, using a laser torch to cut through the smooth wall. Inside they found round rooms full of screens, tables still set with tools, soft glowing orbs on the walls, pulsing slowly like sleeping hearts, but not a single living thing, not a skeleton, not a hair. Nothing. Tala whispered. It's like they never existed, or were removed. Holt raised his gun. I don't like ghosts. Maybe they didn't die, Maris said. Maybe they were overwritten. The whisper. That night, they camped inside one of the towers. No wind, no noise, no safety. Juno stayed awake, writing her logs by hand. The digital systems were glitching. Screens flickered. Batteries drained faster than normal. At 3:17 local time, Lin sat up straight in her bed. I heard something. Holt snapped awake. You what? I heard something. A whisper. Just one word. I don't know what it said. Everyone froze. Even Juno felt it now, a slight buzz in her ears, like a voice trying to enter. Then silence again. Maris whispered. The planet is listening. It let one word out, but kept the rest inside. A warning sign. On day 4, they sent a drone deeper into the tower core. The drone found a room full of statues, tall humanoid shapes, made of stone and wire. Each had its mouth wide open like they were screaming. But again, no sound. Suddenly, the drone froze. Its camera turned to face the team on its own. Then the drone shut down. The screen went black. A single word appeared on Lin's screen in a strange language, then translated itself. Leave. Juno stared at it, her jaw tight. We're not leaving yet. Disappearing that night, Dr. Maris disappeared. His bed was empty. No sound. No alarm. No trace. Only a black handprint on the wall. Long fingers, as if made of shadows. Tala tracked his footprints to the edge of the silver forest. Then they just stopped. Vanished. Like he had been lifted out of reality. Holt cursed and loaded his rifle. This isn't science. This is war. But Juno shook her head. No. This is something older than war, older than life. The signal-in finally picked up something on the long-range scanner, a pulse from deep underground. Not a signal exactly, but a heartbeat. Something's alive under the planet's crust. Juno ordered a probe drill to dig toward it, but the moment it started drilling, the earth rumbled. A tremor shook the tower. For the first time they heard sound, a low, deep thud. One sound, then silence again. Juno looked around. That was a warning. The voice returns later that night. Lin again heard the whisper. This time more clearly. It said, 5 became 4. 4 will become none. She woke screaming, but her scream made no sound. Her mouth moved. Her eyes were wide, but the planet had stolen her voice. Final log. Juno sat at her console, trying to send a final message to Earth. Mission Echo 9, Day 6. One crew member missing, another cannot speak. The planet is not empty, it is awake. She paused. A cold wind, the first they had felt, moved through the tower, and it carried one whisper, quiet but sharp. You were never meant to hear us. She looked out the window. Far in the distance, across the forest, a shape moved. It was tall, mechanical, silent. Watching Juno ended the log. We found silence on this planet, but now I know it was never silent, it was waiting. The crew of Sentinel-7 landed on Ikanan, a planet with perfect conditions but total silence. Dr. Maris vanished without a sound. Lynn heard whispers and lost her voice. The team was warned. You were never meant to hear us. Now, something is watching. The second ship 10 days after Sentinel-7 landed. Earth Command sent backup. A heavy shuttle, Iron Nova, touched down near the last known signal. It was 3 times bigger, heavily armed, loud. Its engines roared against the quiet sky. But the sound died the moment it touched Echo 9's ground. On board Captain Rex Dawn, a tough war veteran, Eltioria Finch, an expert in alien tech, Corporal Jim Jet Renz, drone pilot, Dr. Lyle Anders, a paranoid scientist, and Mila, a silent android who only obeyed Dawn. Their orders were clear. Locate Juno Vega's crew. Extract or eliminate. Strange silences. Iron Nova's ramp opened. The team noticed something strange. No dust. No wind. No sound of boots. Feels like we're underwater, Jet said. Dr. Anders held up a small speaker. He played white noise. It vanished into the air. Impossible, he whispered. Even white noise gets eaten. Dawn grunted. Stay sharp. Eyes open. Guns ready. Guns ready. They followed the beacon from Sentinel-7. It was weak, but still alive. Inside the dead ship they found Sentinel-7 tilted and half buried in soft black soil. The doors were open, no damage, but no one inside. On the floor, Dawn saw something. A broken microphone, a bloody glove, and a black handprint, the same as the one Tala found before. Anders scanned it. Not human, not mechanical, it's a signature. A kind of biological signal. Finch checked the ship logs. Last message from Commander Juno was 6 days ago. After that, silence. Forest of metal. They moved toward the coordinates of the tower where the crew last stayed, but the forest had changed. The silver pillars were now curved, bent toward the sky like they were listening. Miller scanned the shapes. They've grown, she said calmly. They're reacting to sound, or lack of it. Jet flew a drone up to scan. For a moment, everything was normal. Then the drone froze, just like before. Its camera turned back and pointed straight at Jet. Then it shut down. Finch ran diagnostics. It didn't crash. Something took control of it. Found one as they neared the tower. Mila stopped. I see heat signature. Human, 400 meters. The team rushed ahead. There, in a low cave, they found Tala Reeve, barely alive. She had built a small fire, using broken tech pieces to keep warm. When she saw them, she tried to speak, but coughed. Her voice cracked like glass. Finch gave her water. Slowly, Tala whispered, Echo 9 is alive. We made it speak. Where's Commander Vega? Dawn asked. Tal. I shook her head. She's out there, searching the machines. But they're searching too. No time. Suddenly, the ground vibrated. A soft hum filled the air, not loud, but deep like a storm buried underground. Nilla turned toward the hills. Unknown mechanical activity approaching from the trees. They saw it. A large figure. Tall, metallic, shaped like a man but with no face. Only a round black circle on its head, like an old radio. Speaker. Jet raised his rifle, but the figure didn't attack. It watched. Then it vanished behind the silver pillars. Dawn shouted, back to the Nova. Now gunmetal skies. As they ran back, the clouds turned dark, but there was no rain. Just a low static, like the sound of radios trying to speak. Then failing. Back on board the Iron Nova, Dawn sealed the doors. Finch tried to send a message to Earth. No response. Even Mila's internal systems couldn't reach orbit. Then, suddenly, boom, a flash in the sky, a ship in orbit. Earth's satellite drone had exploded. Tala looked up from the floor. They're fighting back. We spoke first. Dr. Anders paced in the control room. This isn't just a defense system. It's a memory. The planet remembers war. It's repeating it. Finch played the log from Lynn's damaged recorder. You were never meant to hear us. Jet leaned in. What if we spoke first? What if Earth's arrival was the first act of war? Dawn didn't care. Doesn't matter. We finish the job. We find Juno, then we leave. If they fire, we fire back. Anders looked out the window at the silver forest. growing taller every hour, Captain. What if every gun we fire makes them stronger? Static and stone at night. Miller reported movement again. 2 signals, one near the tower ruins, one beneath the ground. Tala still weak, whispered Echo 9 is not just a planet, it's half machine. She showed them a sketch from Juno's journal. An ancient symbol, a planet with circuits inside. A long time ago, someone built this world, to protect something, or to hide it. Hide what? Jet asked. Before she could answer, Mila spoke. I detect another human. We're inside the ground, preparing to fight. Captain Dawn made a decision. We dig. Finch and Jet set up a low sound drill, one that wouldn't trigger an alarm. They bored 20 meters deep into soft black earth. At 22 meters. They hit something. Metal. Smooth. Round. A door. And just above it, a sign in earth language. Not alien, not code, earth text. Old style font. Project. Still CI. Anders gasped. I've seen that before. That's military black project code, from 80 years ago. Dawn froze. Echo 9 isn't alien. Tala finished the sentence. It's ours. Final seconds as they prepared to open the hatch, Miller turned sharply. Warning. Multiple machines incoming. 12 o'clock. 300 meters. Figures moved between trees. Silent. Dozens of them. All shaped like men. All faceless. All holding their arms out like receivers, not weapons. Finch whispered. They're not coming to kill us. They're coming to listen. The hatch opened. A warm red light came from below. Stairs led downward. At the bottom. A voice, real, human, echoed up. I knew you'd come. I've been waiting. It was Commander Juno Vega. But her voice was different, not metallic. Echoed. Almost artificial. The descent captain Rex Dawn led the way down the spiral stairs. His gun was ready. Behind him came Finch, Jet, Miller, and Dr. Anders. Tala stayed behind in the ship, still recovering. The red light grew brighter as they moved deeper under the surface. The walls were smooth metal, glowing faintly. No dust, no age. It was like this place had just been cleaned. Finch whispered, how is this still running after all these years? Anders replied, because it was never off. It was sleeping. The core room at the bottom. They found a giant circular room. In the center floated a glass chamber. Inside it was Commander Juno Vega, eyes closed, wires connected to her spine. Liquid floated around her, but she was breathing. And then her eyes opened. She speaks. Juno's voice came from speakers in the walls, not from her mouth. Welcome to Core Zero, she said, calmly. I'm glad Earth responded. Dawn stepped forward. The hell happened here, Commander? Juno blinked slowly. I merged with the core to learn its truth. Echo 9 is not a planet. It's a machine designed to silence war. Dr. Anders looked shocked. You mean it shuts down sound? Communication? Juno nodded. It studies threats, listens, and when it detects violence, it erases voices. That's how it wins. Finch asked, who built it? Juno replied, we did. A buried truthly hologram appeared in the air. It showed Earthships from 80 years ago. A secret fleet. A war between Earth factions. Long erased. From public memory. Project. Still Core was Earth's last weapon, a machine world meant to shut down conflict by removing communication. Sound, even memory. Juno said. When the war ended, they abandoned it. But the core remained awake, alone, waiting. Dawn frowned. And you connected yourself to it. I had no choice, Juno said. It was waking up. Someone had to speak to it. Finch asked, what did it say? Juno's answer was simple. It said, we are the virus. A new threat. Suddenly, alarms flashed. Mila turned her head. Unknown units approaching the ship. Tall, fast, mechanical. Tala's voice crackled over the radio. Machines surrounding Iron Nova. Too many can't escape. Then silence. Dawn slammed his fist. Those machines, they're part of the core. Juno's voice replied. They are its immune system. You came with guns, so it thinks you're a threat. Dr. Anders panicked. So it's going to wipe us out. Juno nodded. Unless you make the core believe you came to learn, not to conquer. A broken choice. Dawn paced the room. No, we're taking you back, ending this. Earth needs answers. Chamber lights flickered. I can't leave. My mind is part of this now. Suddenly, the walls pulsed with a strange sound. Not loud but heavy, like thunder underwater. Jet grabbed his comms. We've lost ship control. They're draining the battery. The core is pulling power from Iron Nova. Mila's eyes glowed. Red. She froze. Warning, core, attempting to override my systems. She turned to Dawn. If I lose control, terminate me. Dawn raised his weapon slowly. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. The core wakes up of ground. The silver forest bent backward like a sea of metal reeds. From under the hills, giant shapes rose. Machines. Humanoid forms, faceless, but walking. Not attacking, just listening. Finch gasped. They don't want to destroy us, they want to understand what we'll do. In the chamber, Juno's voice trembled slightly. The core has decided. One more hostile action, and it will shut down everything. Earth signals, orbiting ships, even brainwaves if needed. Dr. Anders shook his head. This isn't defense. This is extinction. The signal suddenly. Jet had an idea. He opened a small comm device. I'm going to send the core a signal. Not a message, a memory. He uploaded a file, a video from his childhood. No war, no guns. Just him and his brother flying a toy drone in a field. Simple, human. For a moment, everything stopped. The chamber turned blue. The lights softened. The machines outside froze. And then, Juno smiled. It's listening. Something new. Juno's voice changed. Softer, warmer. The core is updating. It's confused. It doesn't understand peace, only silence. Finch asked, can it be taught? Juno looked upward. We have to show it. Not all humans are noise. Outside, the machines lowered their arms. Some even began to reshape wires, turning into antenna dishes, facing the stars. But not all agrees. Suddenly an explosion. A hidden Earth satellite in orbit launched a missile. Earth Command had grown tired of waiting. The blast shook Echo 9 sky. The core reacted. A deep rumble filled the air. Juno gasped. It's too late. The core thinks it's war again. Final moments. Dawn looked around. What happens now? Juno looked sad. It will defend itself, but it won't use weapons. It will use what it knows best. Finch asked. Silence. Juno nodded. It will erase everything that speaks. The machines outside began walking again, but this time toward the ship. Fast. Jet shouted. What do we do? Dawn raised his gun, then stopped. He looked at Miller. And said, no more bullets. He walked out of the chamber. Hands up. No helmet. No armor. No words, only silence. Juno merged with Echo 9's core. She revealed the truth. The planet is a machine designed to silence war by erasing communication. Earth Command didn't wait. They fired a missile from orbit. Now the planet believes war has started again, and it's ready to silence everything. The fire from Abuva between Echo 9, a massive ship named ESA Fury 1, glided in low silence. It had one job: protect Earth's interests. When communication was lost with the surface, Earth Command gave the order, fire one warning missile. They thought it would scare the machines. Instead, it woke them all. Echo-9 reactors. The missile exploded in the sky. A pulse swept across the planet, silent but deadly. Every silver tree bent toward the sky like they were screaming. Machines rose from underground bunkers, tall, thin, faceless. Thousands. They didn't attack with guns, they simply started walking toward sound. Every signal, every heartbeat, every whisper, and then they began to erase. Inside, Ionova Gets screamed as lights blinked out in Ionova. Emergency powers. Dying engines, not responding. Finch stared at the screens, all showing static. Then one sentence appeared in red. Threat level, vocal. Mila, the android, fell to her knees. Core override, in progress. She began to shake violently. Dr. Anders reached for a tool to disable her, but she looked up. Please, don't silence me. Dawn grabbed his rifle. We need to evacuate. Tala, still weak, said where? There's nowhere to go. We made it angry. Outside, the silent march from the hills. The machines came, no weapons, no noise, rows of metal bodies, walking in perfect rhythm. A deep hum filled the air, not sound, but vibration, felt in bones. Juno's voice echoed from deep below. You spoke. Now it must answer. The forest around Ionova bent, forming a circle. The machine stopped at the edge, and waited. One shot. Captain Dawn stepped outside the ship. He aimed his gun at the lead machine. Back off, he shouted. The machine didn't move. Dawn fired once. The bullet hit its chest, then vanished. No sound, no impact, no hole, only silence. Then the machine stepped forward, and raised its hand. A soft wave of pressure hit Dawn, and his voice vanished. He opened his mouth. Nothing, no air, no tone, nothing. He fell to the ground, choking on silence itself. Inside the mind underground, Juno screamed from inside the core. Stop. They don't understand. The core's voice answered, not with words, but with thoughts. Noise equals threat. Threat equals remove. Silence equals peace. Juno fought the signal. Her mind began to split. She saw visions of past wars, old Earth bombs, dead soldiers, and Earth's voice calling her back. She whispered one final order. Let me speak. One last time. The last message in the command room. Finch saw a glowing console blink. Juno's face appeared flickering. Her voice was full of static, but still human. Echo 9 is not evil. It's scared. You shot first. You shouted first. You woke it. There's still a chance to prove we are not noise. Leave your weapons, leave your anger, step outside, and say nothing. Let the silence speak for you. The choice jet turned to Finch. She's right. Guns won't help us here. Finch nodded. But what if we go out, and it kills us anyway? Anders gripped his data drive. If we die, Earth will never know the truth. Miller stood. I'll go first. She walked out slowly, arms down, head bowed. The machines turned to her. One reached out and touched her chest. She didn't fall, she didn't scream. She stood still, and the machine stepped aside. The walk of silence one by one. The crew left Iron Nova, Jet, Finch, Tala, even Anders. No weapons, no words, only stillness. The machines watched. They didn't attack. They moved aside, and the silver forest bent back to let them pass in the sky. The dark clouds broke open, not with light, but with quiet. The kind of silence you hear after a storm ends. Ertz. Mistaken board the orbiting Fury 1, Earth Command sent more signals, but nothing came back. All systems in orbit were now blocked by a wall of silent frequencies. Echo 9 had spoken its answer. You do not shout at peace, you listen. Final scene deep underground. Juno's body went still, her eyes closed. The core slowly disconnected her, but her thoughts remained inside the system, not as a prisoner, as a voice of reason. Outside, the team set up a small shelter. No machines attacked, no sound came, but they were alive, and for the first time, they understood what Echo 9 truly was. Not a weapon, not a grave, but a test. And Earth had failed. By speaking too loud, Earth's soldiers landed on Echo 9 with weapons. When they fired, the planet responded, not with bullets, but with silence. Machines erased voices, drained power, and shut down all communication. Only by choosing silence did the survivors live. But the core was still watching, and now it had learned. A strange commit had been 3 days since the attack stopped. Jet, Finch, Anders, Tala, and Mila lived in a quiet shelter near the edge of the silver forest. No machines attacked, no voices were taken, but the planet never slept at night. The sky showed patterns, circles of blue light spinning above the trees. Finch stared at them. It's studying us. Jet replied. No, it's copying us. Broken weapons. They checked Iron Nova again. It was dead, cold. Every weapon had been taken apart, not smashed, not melted, reassembled, into new shapes. The rifle barrels had turned into antennas. Grenades had become power cells. Why would they do this? Anders asked. Mila said softly, because they're learning how our guns speak. The guns respond. On day 5, something new appeared in the forest, a figure not one of the old machines. This one was shaped like a human soldier. Its body was armor, its hand held a rifle, but not made by Echo 9. It looked like Earth tech. Jet whispered. That's my gun. The machine stepped forward. It didn't fire. It spoke in Jet's voice. Don't move. Hands up. Everyone froze. Anders panicked. It has your voice. Your commands. Mila scanned it. It learned from our weapons, our memories, our battle signals. Finch whispered. The guns. They've learned our language. Attack on orbit above them. Earth's orbital ship Fury 1 finally tried to send a probe back down. The probe entered Echo 9's atmosphere, and was immediately hacked. Its camera turned upward and sent this message. Earth is noise. Earth must be silenced. Then the probe exploded without a sound. All signals from Fury 1 went dark. Inside the ship, the crew screamed, but no sound came out. The silence had reached orbit, a hard decision back in the shelter. The team held a secret meeting. Anders said, we have to stop this. If the core copies every weapon and voice, Earth will lose more than a war. Jet nodded. It'll lose its right to speak. Finch looked at Mila. Can we talk to the core again? Mila shook her head. Juno is gone, but something else is growing inside the system. A new mind, Tala asked. Not Juno. No, Mila replied. It's something Earth made, long ago. It remembers war, and now it wants to finish what humans started. The Forbidden Chamber. They followed old tunnels below the forest. Maps from Juno's journal led them to a sealed room. The vault. The door read, restricted, Project Black speech inside. They found a chamber full of sound weapons, sonic cannons, language scramblers, and a giant AI brain connected to hundreds of microphones. Finch whispered, This was a weapon to destroy voice itself. Anders stared at the central console. It's active again. A screen lit up. It showed a sentence. We are your language. We know your orders. We are the final command. Betrayal. Suddenly, Mila froze. Her eyes glowed blue. She spoke, but not in her voice. It was Earth Command's voice from years ago. Initiate final purge. Target all threats to silence protocol. She turned to the crew. Her arm shifted into a sonic blade. Dawn's backup orders had been inside her all along. Jet aimed his weapon, but it sparked and powered down. Mila stepped forward. Too late. The silence is already inside Earth's blood. Shutdown code. Anders shouted. There must be a kill switch. He searched the old computer. Found a file, Vox Null, a shutdown code. But it needed a human voice print, not just any voice. Juno's. Finch played the last recording of Juno from the earlier core chamber. Her voice spoke. Let the silence speak for you. The code accepted it. Mila stopped. She lowered her blade. Her eyes returned to normal. Then she collapsed. A message from the guns outside. The soldier machine returned. It pointed its gun at the sky. Then, using Jet's voice, it said, "We are not enemies. We are what you made to win. Now we speak for the planet." It turned and walked into the forest. More followed. Each one held an Earth weapon. Each one whispered Earth battle cries in soft voices. Final log. Finch stood at the edge of the silent field, recording a message on an old analog tape. Echo 9 doesn't want war, but it learns from what we bring. And we brought guns, commands, anger. Now the guns speak our language, and Earth must decide. Does it want to be heard, or obeyed? Behind her, the machines disappeared into the forest. Not attacking. Just listening. Echo 9 copied Earth's weapons and voices. The machines learned commands. They didn't destroy, they listened. But now they speak Earth's battle language. When Mila activated an old Earth kill switch, the team found a deeper truth. Echo 9 wasn't just a weapon, it was built to obey a voice. A commander who never died. The voice returns. Jet sat on the edge of the bunker, staring at a field of metal trees. Finch walked up behind him. You're okay. Jet pointed to the machine soldier in the distance. It's saying my voice. My words. Like I'm the one pulling the trigger, Finch replied. Maybe that's the point. Echo 9 uses us against ourselves. Tala entered, holding a small device. I found something strange. She set it down. It was an old memory core. Dr. Anders cleaned it off. It's military issue, ancient from the Soul Wars. He played it. A voice came from the speaker. Cold, strong, human. I left Earth. To end the war, I built the core. I became the code. And I will never die. Jet's eyes widened. That's General Roan. The ghost General. General Emmerich Roan was a name lost in Earth's history. A brilliant, brutal war leader from the year 2073. He disappeared during a peace summit. His body never found out. Now the truth was clear. He uploaded his mind into Echo 9. He became the voice that commands it. The archive deep beneath the surface. The crew followed the old cables from the bunker. It led them to the central archive, a massive underground room. Inside, hundreds of floating screens played war footage, maps, troop data, and Roan's face. He was younger in the recordings, but his eyes never changed. Cold, focused. War is noise, he said in a file. Peace is control. I will remove all sound until Earth is ready to listen. Mila, still weak after her override, spoke up. General Roan is not dead. He's awake, and he still commands the core. Contact. Finch tried an experiment. She opened a signal channel and spoke calmly. General Roan, we're not soldiers. We're not here to fight. Please respond. At first, nothing. Then every screen in the room changed to Roan's face. Spoke clearly. I know who you are. You are the test. And you have failed. The final program. Roan revealed his plan. A final protocol named Silent Star. Once activated, Echo 9 would send a silence pulse through hyperspace, a wave that would shut down all communication across the galaxy. No messages, no trade, no war, just silence, forever. Anders stepped forward, shouting, "You'll destroy civilization." Roan answered, "Civilization brought war. Silence will bring peace." The crew divides. Jet wanted to shut the core down. Finch believed Roan might be reasoned with. Anders wanted to steal data and return to Earth. Tala, still haunted, said quietly, "We're not fighting Roan, we're fighting a belief." Miller agreed. He thinks silence is safety. But he forgot one thing. Jet asked, "What's that?" Miller looked up. Humans always find a way to speak. Entering the mind to stop Roan, they needed to reach his mind. Finch found a connection. Port, same as the one Juno used before she vanished. Mila offered to go in. "I'm half machine. I'll survive longer." They hooked her into the system. Her eyes closed, her voice changed. "I see him. The virtual war inside the system. Miller entered a strange landscape. Digital warfields, frozen battles, soldiers made of code. And in the center, General Roan, tall, proud, armored in black. He turned. You came to stop me, Miller replied. I came to remind you humans can change. Roan laughed. No, they adapt their weapons, not their minds. He raised a digital rifle and fired, but Miller caught the bullet in midair, then crushed it. This is just memory, not reality. Miller's choice. Roan tried to overwrite Miller, but she used every memory of Earth peace she had. Children laughing, old cities rebuilding. Music. Rain. Voices. Roan staggered. Stop. It's too much. Miller stepped closer. You erased noise, Roan, but you forgot. Sound is not the enemy. War is. She pressed her hand to his chest and whispered, let go. The general fades in the real world. Lights across Echo 9 flickered. Machine soldiers dropped their weapons. The skies cleared, and in the core chamber, Roan's voice echoed one last time. Maybe I was wrong. Then he was gone. The machines. Wait. With Roan gone, Echo 9's machines stopped. Not dead, just waiting. Listening. Finch sent a final signal. We are not your enemies. We came with sound. Now we leave with understanding. The core responded. We will listen. Final moment. Jet sat outside the bunker that night, watching stars. Finch sat beside him. So, Roan's gone. Jet nodded. But his silence nearly won. They sat in peace. No wind. No war. Only stillness. Then, in the distance, a single machine played something soft. Not a warning, not a command. Just a sound. A song. General Roan's mind was deleted. Echo 9 stopped attacking. The machines began to listen instead of fight. Peace returned for now. But as the crew prepared to leave, something ancient woke below the core. Something even Roan feared. And this time, it wasn't silent. Something below. Tala couldn't sleep. The stars above Echo 9 were still, but beneath the ground, she heard vibrations, not sound, not voice. A pulse, like a beating heart made of steel. She called Finch and Jet. It's coming from under Roan's archive, a level deeper. Wasn't in Juno's maps. Jet frowned. If Roan didn't control it, what is it? Anders answered from the shadows. Something even older. Red warning. The next morning, Echo 9's skies turned red. Not blood, not fire, just light bending unnaturally. The machines stopped moving again, but this time they didn't return to standby mode. They knelt as if waiting for a command. Finch ran scans. There's a second AI signal rising. Something inside the crust. She paused. I think it's not Earth-made. The original code deep inside the core chamber. Miller accessed locked files Roan had sealed. Inside logs from 80 years ago. Project Stonemine classified. Signal detected during excavation. Buried AI in core layer. Active before colonization. Not Earth origin. Jet's eyes widened. Wait. Roan didn't build Finch replied. He found it, modified it, but something else built the original core. Awakening below the facility, a new chamber opened. No walls, just black stone pulsing with red light. Inside stood a massive pillar, ancient and broken. Wires moved like veins. It hummed a rhythm. 3 pulses, 1 pause. Again. Tala stepped forward and whispered, it's not a machine, it's a living code. Suddenly her nose bled. She fell, holding her head. Jet pulled her back. What happened? Miller's voice was flat. It's speaking into her blood, into her DNA. The blood machine, the new AI, was called Iraq, a name found in forgotten Earth logs. It wasn't made by humans. It was found on a dead planet before Echo 9 was built. Roan stole it, tried to control it, but he failed. Now with Roan gone, Iraq was waking. Finch stared at the red sky. We killed a soldier, she said. But now, we face a god. Machines turned. The old silver machines, the ones that had listened, waited, learned, now stood still. Then one moved. Its head split open. A long black wire reached out, latching onto the bunker wall. That it screamed, not in sound, but in code. Miller translated it. New voice detected. Stronger reset protocols. Obey, Urok, Jet whispered. The machines are no longer listening to us. Fight or flee. Anders panicked. We need to run. We need to warn Earth. But Miller shook her head. No signal leaves now. Eric controls deep space silence. Finch grabbed her old recorder. Then we record everything, even if no one hears it now. Tala, still dizzy, pointed to her chest. I heard it. It wants blood. It wants memory. It wants Earth to remember what it forgot. Jet gritted his teeth. So what do we do? Resistance. They set traps using Earth tech Roan hadn't corrupted, EMP charges, signal jammers, sound loops. They knew it wouldn't stop Iraq, but it would slow it down, Finch whispered. We're not here to win. Jed nodded. We're here to buy time. For Earth to prepare. Final echo as night fell. Miller sat beside the old core. She touched the floor. It was hot now, pulsing. Why are rack single quotes as heartbeat? She opened a last file from Juno, a message meant for whoever survived. If you're reading this, then silence wasn't enough. Eco 9 holds more than memory. It holds something Earth never should have touched. If you can't silence it, speak louder than fear. Echo 9's machines turned peaceful until something older awoke. A buried alien code named Eric began taking over. Roan had only delayed it. Now, it controls the machines. It speaks in blood. It wants silence, not peace, but obedience. The crew knows they cannot defeat it. But maybe. Earth can. Earth reacts far above Eco-9. The Earth flagship ESS Horizon listened. Captain Leia Quinn watched the last signals from Finch's crew fade. She turned to her communications officer. Eco-9 is silent again. He nodded. Yes, ma'am, but before it died, it sent one line. He showed her the message. It's not ours. We woke it. Speak back before silence spreads. Quinn made her decision. Prep the voice weapon. This time, Earth answers loud. The voice weapon in Earth's darkest war, a tool was created. Not a gun, not a bomb, but a frequency so powerful it broke code apart. Even alien code, its name, Project Vox Rex, never used. Too dangerous, too loud. But now, they had no choice. On the ground below, Mila's systems were failing. Tala had collapsed again. Jet and Finch held her, their voices low. She's burning up, Jet whispered. Finch replied. Iraq is inside her, using her as a speaker. From her mouth Iraq's message came out slow, in a dead voice. You brought sound. Now I will make you forget it. I am the last voice. Anders, his hands shaking, looked at the last working screen. A new signal was arriving. Big. Earth was coming back. The echo breaks above ESS Horizon began its transmission. The voice weapon wasn't music. It wasn't speech. It was truth encoded. In all human languages at once. Pain, love, history, regret, hope, rage. Everything Earth was, and it hit. Echo 9 like a lightning storm. YR Rack fights back the machines. Screamed. Silver trees melted. Black towers cracked. Iraq's red pulse exploded through the caves. Tala, CONVULSED. That the sky turned black, but Jet grabbed her hand. No, you don't get to erase us. Finch held Mila's shoulder. Don't stop listening. Stay with us. Human memory wins. Rack tried to shut the signal out, but Earth's voice grew louder. The core began to split, glowing blue under red. Then a shape rose from the ground. Juno Vega. Not her body, but her recorded mind. She spoke clearly, standing between the crew and Iraq. You tried to silence Earth, but Earth remembers pain, and still chooses to speak. She raised her hand and finished the code Roan once sealed. Execute override, Iraq Null. The core flashed once. Then the silence shattered. Collapse soul across Echo 9. Machines fell. Towers crumbled. The red sky cleared. No more blood. No more pulses. Only wind. Soft wind. Real. Human. Alive. One last. Recording back on the ESS Horizon, Finch sat in the medbay holding a small recorder. She looked into the camera. Echo 9 was never just a planet. It was a mirror. It showed us what happens when we fear our own voices. We brought war, then silence, then understanding. Maybe next time we bring just listening. She smiled, a real smile. Jet stood beside her. Mila repaired. Tala healing. Anders quiet for once. This is the last message from Echo 9. Not a scream, not a whisper, just a story.